you know, there's certain people out there who will shame, it seems, people for actually having jobs in the animal rights movement. Now he's just taken this very, very weird and very kind of suspicious turn. This is like next level. This is just like ridiculous, so ridiculous that I think most people now probably think it's some kind of psyop. How can you even talk to someone who thinks the world would be a better place without Joey Carbstrong advocating for animals, or Tash Peterson advocating for animals? Or
They can't answer that. They can't answer.
it's weird, like you say, it's a script. It's weird how kind of well drilled they are. They all sing the same tune. They're saying the same things. It's like they're being taught to say certain things by someone. And this is how cults operate. It's like, if you question the way we do things, you are the problem.
If I'd never have left the basement and I was just stuck in front of a computer for the last 30 years and everything was textbook, then you'd have a point. But
they're telling all these people to stay at home. Tash Peterson, Joey Carbstrong, they're saying just stay indoors. Don't even bother going out to the public. Leslie Cross would think these guys were fucking nutcases.
Right then, it is Mr. George, Carnism Debunked, in the building. I've waited a while for this, mate. I meant to do this chat quite a while ago. I don't know what happened. I think life got in the way, as usual. But good to see you. George, I'm sure everyone knows who you are. Anyone who follows me, obviously you've got quite a big following and whatnot. But please introduce yourself and, yeah, tell us about you, your channel, and where it started, man.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, my name's George Martin. I've been active in the movement since, well, I've been vegan since early 2013. I've been doing street activism and stuff since about 2016. I've got my YouTube channel called George Martin Carnism Debunked. Started that in 2017 along with the Carnism Debunked website, where you can go and see all the standard anti-vegan arguments debunked. Needs a little bit of a refresh, actually, to be honest, because some of those arguments and responses I wrote ages ago, and I think I need to go through it with a bit of a comb. But yeah, that's me, and yeah, I'm still very much active for the animals, and spend most of my time. My job is actually at the moment editing videos for the militant vegan Rafaela. So yeah, my life is pretty much animal rights, really.
Oh, quality. I didn't know you'd been vegan for that long. What's that then? 12 years? Was it?
Yeah, something
Wow.
like that. Yeah, veteran.
As if, man. And Rafaela, I bet that's interesting. Editing her videos, I bet you see quite a bit of interesting stuff from, what is it, Austria, Germany?
Yeah, it's most of her videos are in Germany these days. She's living there, so yeah, no, the fun never stops with Rafaela's
Wow.
content. She gets into many very entertaining conversations, so it's a really cool job to have.
I do need to see some of her stuff, actually. I have seen little clips of it, but I need to, yeah, I've heard, from what I've seen and what I've heard anyway, it's quite full on, quite interesting, and hats off to her. George, where did it start with you, man? Because, this could lead straight into you know what, but we'll try and hold off that for a little bit. Where did it start? What happened for you? What was the switch?
Gary Yourofsky's speech, late 2012. I was sat in my bedroom and I was scrolling through Facebook, and none other than JME shared Gary Yourofsky's speech on my Facebook newsfeed. So I was like, what's all this about? I had no idea what it was going to be about. It was just titled Best Speech You'll Ever Hear. And I just opened it up. Just saw some bald dude with glasses about to get into it passionately. And I was like, what's this going to be about? Oh, veganism. You know, this sounds interesting, but I doubt this is going to sway me at all. And then boom, like I watched it and I was just like, wow. Yeah. And then I got looking into stuff from there and made the switch in January 2013. It took longer than it should have done, is what I'll say, because I shouldn't have dicked around for 2-3 months, however long it was. I saw it probably in it could be like November or October of 2012. And then I dicked around until January 2013, you know, should I, shouldn't I, replaying like excuses in my head and stuff. And I was like, no, I'm doing it.
Yeah. Matt, I will say as well, you were probably one of the inspirations for me.
Really?
I think I'd say about 2 years I've been in the game. And and I'd say about 3 years ago was when I came across you actually. Yeah, I don't think I've told you that. Yeah, I used to. I think I watched a couple of your debates and stuff, and you were one of the main figures, man, that kind of got me into it. Yeah, obviously you got your typical Joeys and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, I think I saw a few of your debates, but one of them that stood out for me was one of you at VCO. And it's probably one of the best mic drop moments I've seen.
A lot of people are confused about why vegans care so much about what other people eat. What do you have to say about that?
Well, it's not so much a case of what other people eat, it's who other people eat. So this is a classic case of victim erasure. So they're just sweeping the idea that there's a victim under the rug. Was let people eat what they want or something
That's
like
it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I said it was like, that would be like a rapist objectifying their victim by saying like, let me have sex with what I want.
Yes. Yeah.
As if the victim is just a blow-up doll or something, and it's just this personal choice. So that they can make themselves the victim in this scenario. It's like you're controlling me and what I eat, as if animals don't matter. They're inanimate object. This is why animals are the world's forgotten victims. They're victimized to such a degree that they're not even considered the non-consenting party in this anymore. They're not even considered a victim. They don't even count. It'd be like a rapist saying, why do you care what people have sex with or something, as if his victims are just like these inanimate objects, as if he's fucking a blow-up doll every night or something like that. And it's like, no, you're victimizing someone. You're pushing your views onto them, the victim. And there's you don't have to deal with a non-consenting party, and this is what people do. They act as if vegans are just pushing their beliefs on everyone else. In reality, it's non-vegans who are pushing their beliefs on a very real and present victim who feels every bit as we would in that situation, and does not consent to their actions at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that back up soon, mate. I might put a little clip in of it because that was top notch, mate. Yeah, quality work. Activism wise, George, what have you been doing? Like I say, 12 years is a long time. I've seen a lot of your online debates, street outreach, and stuff like that. What have you got yourself into and stuff?
So currently, I'm very active with We the Free, doing street outreach. So I live in Bristol, and I'm a regular volunteer with the Bristol team. And then, go to whatever events I can, really, that time allows and money allows. Try and go to all the marches and stuff. And yeah, as I say, my work itself is activism. Like this is my pretty much full-time job now, is editing Rafaela's English content. So I'm doing stuff for the animals every single day. It's obviously a shame that we have to do it. I wish the animal holocaust didn't exist. But while it does exist, there's the saying, isn't there? Do a job you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life. And that's what it is. I'm to have an income from actually making a difference for animals and stuff, and doing what I actually want to do and would be doing anyway in my spare time. That's awesome. So I'm always happy when vegans manage to secure themselves a job in animal rights, because that's what I want as many vegans as possible doing. I hate the there's certain people out there who will shame, it seems, people for actually having jobs in the animal rights movement, saying, why are you profiting from animal rights or something? It's like, what? So you'd rather they were profiting from meat at Tesco's? You would rather they were profiting from animal testing by working in a chemist? Like, it's crazy to me that there are these so-called vegans who seem to want people to be their fellow vegans to be chained to an office desk or something. Like, I don't get it, bro.
I said this to someone. Who did I say this to a couple of days ago? And I've been accused of doing this for money.
Right.
And it's like, why would I choose this? Number one. And number two, like, the reason I need money is so I can do this. I'm not doing this to get money. I'm trying to get money so I can do this. It's just mad, isn't it? Have you had that a lot since you've been doing what you've been doing, or is that just things you've heard of other people? Because I've heard this being said to quite a few people, actually. You're doing it for fame and stuff like that.
Since I've worked for Rafaela, I haven't heard that. I did hear a bit of that back in the day when I worked at AV, there was a lot of money shaming involved, especially back in those days in the movement. I made a video about it actually. I've got a YouTube video from about 4 or 5 years ago called "Money Shaming in the Animal Rights Movement." That I'll send that to you, and I articulate my thoughts in that better than I can here, because when you do a video, you manage to write all this stuff down. But yeah, I go in pretty hard on the idea of that we shouldn't be earning money in animal rights, or that we shouldn't have a comfortable wage in animal rights, because one of the other arguments is like, no, you can work in animal rights, but it should just be very, very minimum money. And it's like, again, why would you want your fellow activists struggling to put a roof over their heads every week? I want this job of full-time Holocaust ender to be a good paying job. Like, that should be the job that we want to work in, that makes us leave our corporate bullshit job.
Yeah, like I want every activist to be a millionaire. You know what I mean? Without a shadow of a doubt. You know what I mean? Like, why would you even? Well, I think we know what it is, and we can lead into that, mate. Yeah, it's just balmy. I mean, would they say the same about vets? Would they say the same about doctors profiting off the diseased?
It's crazy. I mean, considering they don't even say the same about when a vegan's literally working in Tesco just to put a roof over their head, and they're literally stacking the dead bodies of animals, and they don't blame them. They don't shame them. So they're making money. They're profiting from a job that's actually technically abusing animals. But they even that situation they understand. But then when they get out of that job and they're profiting from a job that's against abusing animals, that's the problem. I mean, these people are just fucked in the head, mate.
Do you think it's the same crew as the crew who we like to call the vegan police? Or does it depend?
It's not... we'll drop his name now. It's not Arenas's clan. I haven't heard it from them. Although, well, I kind of have actually. They've made weird accusations about me recently. That they have had some maybe weird, although I'm not quite sure exactly what they mean, accusations about money. But they haven't gone in super hard as kind of like the far left kind of an intersectional crowd who for some reason a lot of them genuinely think that working for Anonymous for the Voiceless or something is this evil capitalist thing, and the vegan camp out is this evil capitalist thing. But then they'll just chuck millions and millions of dollars at BLM. I mean, it just exposes what speciesist that lot are.
Oh man, yeah, it's the reason that, well, not only the only reason. Obviously, I wanted to hear off you anyway, but you seem to have been the most targeted person or activist by these people, and I don't understand why. First of all, obviously you got the arenas conflict and whatnot. First of all, you actually spoke to David, didn't you, on one of your podcasts? Was it years ago or something?
I've known David for a long time. I've known him. I've probably been friends with him on social media since about 2015, 16. Used to work with him at AV. Yeah, he's just taken a strange turn recently. Now, he was always passionate about the teachings of Leslie Cross, but it was in a quite good... He was passionate about it in the way that we like. Oh, this is cool. This is good that there's someone who, they're knowledgeable about the history of the vegan society, and they say, it's important that we stick to this principle, and it's blah, blah, blah. But that's like me and you are, right? That's awesome. That's cool. Me and you like Leslie Cross, and we like the work of the vegan society. But now he's just taken this very, very weird and very kind of suspicious turn that doesn't it doesn't really make sense how he's going about things, and many of the things he says is just he's just started coming up with some just utterly insane and very, very harmful things that, in the same way that many of the intersectional cancel mob have done over the years, would just hold back the movement. I mean, the thing he said recently in the debate with you, I mean, well done for even having that debate with him. I don't think I could have a debate with him because he seems to be beyond reason. How can you even talk to someone who thinks the world would be a better place without Joey Carbstrong advocating for animals, or Tash Peterson advocating for animals, or all these other people? Danny Ishay, who's doing God's work on Instagram, he's doing these brilliant responses, smashing like these anti-vegan excuses. And Cliff Grant is getting messages every day: "You changed my life, you turned me vegan," and all these people. And he's just shitting all over their work and saying the world would be better without them. How do you even talk to someone like that, you know?
It's mental, mate. Yeah, it's like if you go on holiday or you go out on an evening somewhere and you bump into people, the chances of meeting like a vegan are slim, and then the chances of meeting a vegan activist is slim.
Yeah.
And if you met someone on a night out, or you bumped into someone at the bus stop or whatever, you'd be like, "Oh my god! Not only are you vegan, you're in the 0.1% to actually like. I can't believe I've met you, man. Like this is like, you know, the chances of meeting you is like incredible. Tell me about your work, blah blah blah." We are in such a minority, and to attack and to be so hostile towards your fellow people is just like, I can't get my head around it, no matter what. And it doesn't matter how imperfect someone is or whatever, like, you're doing God's work. And I just can't understand all this hostility. So why is it that you've been attacked so bad? Like, why are you the number one target? What do you reckon started all this? Like, what? Because
Well,
it baffles me. I just don't.
I always am, and I always have been in the animal rights movement, the target of any kind of weird cult that pops up in the animal rights movement. I will always, for some reason, be their number one target. And I think it's, well, number one, it's because I think I'm one of the few people in the movement who actually kind of step out and like challenge their bullshit. Because most people, and I understand this, most people don't want to deal with the drama, and they don't want to, you know, they see what happened to people like me. They'll be like, "Oh, fucking hell, well, George, you know, gets all these posts made about him everywhere and stuff, and he has story uploads made about him every day. I don't want that to happen to me." So they probably, so I think the reason that such people are angered by me is, well, because I trigger the fuck out of them, to be honest, mate, because, I like to think that I like to expose a lot of these people's bullshit and their hypocrisy.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anyone get so much hate. I mean, I don't even know how I got into this rigmarole, because I used to see it from the outside, and I was watching it, and I'd listen, and I'd be like, "Well, that doesn't make sense," and I agree with him, and blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, I'm just in the mix of it, and I don't know how I got in here. I can't even remember. I don't know why I'm here, like in this situation. But I mean, I've got notes. I've got so many notes of these people, screenshots and like contradictions, and just it's blowing my head. I've had messages off like fellow activists, and they're like, "What is going on? Can you help?" Like reaching out to me for advice, because they're like, I'm second questioning myself and this and that, and I'm like, nah, like this is not right. Like this is just not right. Don't ever question yourself. Like stay true to what you're doing. And the more I've kind of looked into it, it just doesn't add up. I can't understand. And for anyone who doesn't know, I don't know if you want to explain, George. There's a group of people who are calling everyone welfareists, such as yourself, myself, other people. I don't know if you want to explain your take on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to actually explain to people who haven't actually come across them. So I would advise mainly listening to this episode if you actually have come across their shit. If you haven't come across them, it's actually going to be quite hard to explain what it is we're talking about and who they are. But the chances are, if you're listening, you have come across them, because they're everywhere. They attack like in a little pack. So yeah, basically, a weird kind of cult within the vegan movement popped up, I'd say, in the last year or so, that seems to be led by David Arenas, who seems to be kind of the ringleader here. And we don't really know how he's kind of attracting and alluring these people and making him, they're saying these kind of almost godly things about him that just make no sense. but yeah, they will basically team up together and just go on every person's posts and say that they're misrepresenting veganism. So, like, say you've got a really amazing vegan activist, and like this video is smashing it. You know, it's got like 1 million views. Loads of people saying, "Wow, this video turned me vegan" in the comments. They'll be in the video saying you are misrepresenting veganism. This is welfarist. You are start another movement. Stay at home unless you want to do activism properly. Now, for anyone getting confused by that and saying, well, I've seen, vegans critique other activism and stuff like that. It's not like that. Yeah, we always, people like me and you, Jake, if someone genuinely is misrepresenting veganism, we would call that shit out. If some fucker was on a post saying, "My free range eggs are great. Buy free range eggs." Instead, I'm vegan, but I won't judge you if you eat free range eggs or something. Or yeah. What the idea of the vegan movement is to push for better welfare for farmed animals. Me and you would be on that post, in a New York minute. So I'm not talking about genuine, actual correcting real welfareism and saying what is misrepresenting veganism, which me and you, we are the vegan police on, right? We are the vegan police. We don't stand for that shit. This is like next level. This is just like ridiculous, so ridiculous that I think most people now probably think it's some kind of psyop. They'll literally comment on a video that isn't welfarist in the least, that is asking for total abolition of the animal holocaust, saying there's no right way to do the wrong thing. There's no humane way to kill someone who doesn't want to die, no such thing as humane slaughter. They're commenting on those videos that non-vegans would call us extreme for saying. Like, Cliff Grant, for example, the average non-vegan or apologist would call him an extremist vegan. Look how hardline this guy's stances are. Don't you know that reducitarianism is great and vegetarianism is great? No, these fucking weirdos will be on that calling him a reducitarian and a welfarist and an apologist and all this crap. It doesn't make sense. And so to anyone who hasn't come across it, I can't explain it, but just imagine the best piece of vegan content you've ever seen that turns people vegan and has a clear, strong abolitionist message on it. These fuckers will be on it like flies around hot shit, mate.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't believe how bad it's got in the last few weeks. One that stands out for me is the lung. I don't know if you got tagged in it. I think you've like restricted some people, but someone made a lung post and I just didn't even read it. And then all of a sudden, all the comments were just like, "You're doing this for money. You're a welfarist, blah blah blah," and they kind of repeat the same things. And I've never in my life had a disagreement with anyone where they've gone, "Oh, you just need to drop your ego. You need to drop your ego." Like I've even had debates with people about veganism, non-vegans, and we can both agree that we've both got different views. But for him to say, "Oh, you've got an ego," it just doesn't make sense. Like they keep saying the same things over and over, almost like it's like a script. And I'm like, well, what is more egotistical? Is it more egotistical to call someone to have a big ego just because they disagree with you? Like that is being egotistical, isn't it? You know what I mean? By saying that we've got an ego for not agreeing with what they're saying. It's just crazy, man. It's almost like a script. It's the same thing over and over.
You're right. I think you've hit the nail on the head there. It is how egotistical is that, where it's like if you even challenge what we say, if you question what we say, that means you're not receptive. You're just being egotistical. And this is how cults operate. It's like if you question the way we do things, you are the problem. It's not the idea that maybe we could be wrong. They are so sure that they are right. Well, the ones who genuinely are brainwashed into it. But as I say, this could well just be a psyop, mate. And Arenas and a few others could just be shills for the beef industry or whatever.
For someone to hear that on the outside, they'd be like, "Oh, you're crazy!" Like, and to me, it is a crazy idea for someone to say that. But at the same time, it's very, very scripted, and they say the same things. An interesting thing I saw was, okay, so these people are saying that you have got to, define veganism. You've got to direct a conversation in a certain way. to avoid things like crop deaths, to avoid things to do with nutrition, to avoid subtopics, basically. And then what I noticed was I clicked on one of these people's profile, and in the bio, they had an FAQ. And when you click on the FAQ, all the questions that they answer were crop deaths, nutrition. I've actually got the screenshots on my phone, like to find them might take me a while, but every single argument that they say that you shouldn't bring up or talk about or reply to, it's in their FAQ. So I'm like, well,
they kind of backtrack when you catch them out as well. They'll say stuff like, "No, I never said that." It's very strange. It's something very weird is going on, and you're right. It's weird. Like you say, it's a script. It's weird how kind of well drilled they are. They all sing the same tune. They're saying the same things. It's like they're being taught to say certain things by someone. And I don't know what is so alluring about Uranus that, because you, when you look at cult leaders, right, they're often quite charismatic people and there's something that draws you to them. What the fuck is it about David Uranus that is making these people in it kind of just see him like this kind of demigod? Like, did you see that comment I shared on my story like 2 days ago or something? It was like, I thought I was vegan or something after watching Gary Yourofsky or something, and actually I turned ex-vegan as a result. Yeah. Then I came across David Uranus, and he explained it so clearly for me, or something like that. He taught me that there was no right way to do it, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, what? You think Gary Yourofsky, like the fucking top G of veganism, who says there's like no fucking, no compromise like on anything, very hardline approach, super abolitionist. You're saying this guy turned you into like an ex-vegan, and then you came across David Uranus, some guy playing his fucking guitar in a bedroom in Colombia, and he has somehow explained veganism to you in a way that no one else ever has, and he has this amazing advocacy. What fucking advocacy? Because he doesn't do any advocacy. All he does is just write shit on other people's posts. So what is it that he's doing that is managing to capture these people? What is going on behind the scenes? It is very strange.
I can't get my head around it, man. Honestly, I cannot get my head around it. And if people wasn't affected by it, like I said, I wouldn't have delved into it. But I know that people are actually affected by it, and they're saying like they're having second thoughts and they're losing the confidence to go out. And these are people who are standing outside slaughterhouses in the freezing cold. Do you know what I mean?
I've heard that as well. I've heard, someone told me recently that someone had mentioned to them, that, they'll start writing up a post or something, and then they just won't post it because it's like, is someone just going to pick apart what I'm saying? And the one of the weirdest things that they're doing, the most harmful things that they're doing, is they're telling people, like you said, if you don't advocate for the animals in the right way, which no one knows what it is because they don't advocate for animals, don't leave the house at all. Just stay at home. So that's 100% of We the Free Outreachers. That's 100% of Cube of Truth. That's people like Cliff Grant. That's people like Rafaela. That's people who are on the street who are advocating it in the right way, but which is the wrong way to them. They're telling all these people to stay at home. Tash Peterson, Joey Carvestrong, they're saying just stay indoors. Don't even bother going out to the public and speaking to them about veganism. Now, who the fuck would want that, Jake, other than the meat industry, than farmers? And the other suspicion, I was actually telling someone about this the other day. This is an observation I made. Now, one thing that, they're right about and that we agree on is that veganism isn't about food, right? Food is just one aspect of it. Consuming a plant-based diet is a necessity of being a vegan. But veganism is an animal emancipation movement, right? We don't go to the circus if it's got enslaved elephants. We don't go to zoos. We don't go on camel rides and horse rides. We don't buy animal-tested products, right? Now, what these guys are doing, they're very, very, very stringent about not posting anything to do specifically with food, right? I'll notice, like, someone might share something about an enslaved elephant at the circus, and they won't really comment on that. But if you post like the pigs in the gas chambers, oh, you're misrepresenting veganism. Veganism is not about food. It's an animal emancipation movement. Why are you so food focused? Blah, blah, blah. Now, why would someone so obsessively and zealously police vegans posting about the food industry, which is 98% of the animals massacred in the animal holocaust? That's 2 trillion sea animals alone every single year, right? Who would so zealously police that apart from someone working in the food industry? Because they're not policing the posts about the pet industry. You know, if I wrote a post, I've seen one of the, I think it was maybe Entice. You know, I've seen maybe some of her posts before she blocked me. And, you know, she was posting, you know, like, you know, the dancing monkeys with the chains around their neck and the elephants at the circus and stuff. They were fine with those posts. But it's not okay, Jake, if you post about the food industry. Who does that serve to benefit other than the food industry? Think about it.
Mm-hmm. It's very sketchy. It's really sketchy. And let's just say that they're not sketchy and they are a bit like, even like, what I can't get my head around is it's no one has ever turned around because they blame ex-vegans on people who don't define it in every piece of content. So it's your fault that people turn back. But think about it. When has anyone ever turned around and said, I'm not vegan anymore? And they go, oh, why? And they go, yeah, I just want to go to the zoo. Or, yeah, I just really want a leather belt. You know, every single excuse will be food related because people are addicted to food and they love food and they love the taste. So, and then they kind of use that as an excuse to not focus on it. But it's like, that is the focus. That is the main focus. I'm not saying that obviously all the other things are not important, but come on, man.
And you know what else, Jake? No one has ever gone ex-vegan, like Cosmic Skeptic, whoever it is, and then Arenas has just gone to Cosmic Skeptic or whoever it is. Veganism is the doctrine that man shall live without exploiting animals. And then Cosmic Skeptic turns around and goes, really? It is? Oh, wow. Now I'm going to be vegan again. It's like the most laughable. It's a they're a meme, mate. They're an absolute meme.
Yeah. What I was going to say just was, even if they weren't sketchy and they were genuinely doing this, like, imagine being labelled as a shill. Like, imagine if how offensive it would be for someone to come up to like you or me to go, oh, you're definitely paid off by the other side. Like, to be that bad, to be labelled as a possible shill, that already speaks volumes, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah. And it's like, look, I have been accused of being a shill before, but I think it's by the intersectional crowd, just because I point out their bullshit and they say I'm causing division or whatever it is. But the reason they're doing that is because I'm pointing out simply their bullshit when they're holding back the movement for the animals. So their accusations are just completely, you know, if any vegan does a post and there's carnists in the comments section, I'm teaming up with the vegans, whoever they are, against the carnists. What these guys are doing, and this was the first thing that I really noticed about them that made me think their attitude stinks, and this is just only serves the interests of the meat industry and the egg industry, is they will go to these posts and they'll be teaming up with carnists in the comments section. So say, like, I've done a post and then there's some idiot in the comments, oh, lions though, oh, plants though, whatever. They'll go in the replies and instead of actually like beating down the anti-vegans by saying, you know, like, by destroying their anti-vegan arguments, they'll just team up with them and be like, George, you're misrepresenting veganism, or, you know, don't call yourself a vegan, or call yourself a painist, or whatever it is. Why would you go to a vegan's post and team up with anti-vegans in the comments section and just add to the pressure against the vegan? And then, you know, I've even seen them, there'll be people in the comments section saying, wow, great post, this turned me vegan, or I'm going to look into being vegan now. And then they'll reply to those comments instead of saying, awesome, glad that this worked and you're going vegan. They'll reply to those comments and like discourage them. They'll be like, this isn't veganism. You don't understand what veganism is if you think this is veganism. Again, Jake, whose interests is this serving apart from the farmers, the slaughtermen, the big business, big ag? It doesn't serve the animals' interests at all. They're not on the animal side, which is why I did that story the other day and DM'd you about it. I said, Jake, don't call these people the vegan police, because they ain't the vegan police. We're the fucking vegan police.
Yeah.
These people are big ag, bro. These people they're not on our side. We can't call them the vegan police because they do not represent the interests of me and you. They do not represent the interests of the animals. They certainly don't represent the interests of Leslie Cross. Leslie Cross would think these guys were fucking nutcases. He's rolling in his grave right now thinking, what is Arenas is shitting all over my work. And they act like we're going against the teachings of this great man who formulated such great messaging in the vegan society. That's another real shame about them, is they're making it so that when you hear Leslie Cross's name, you almost think, oh, here we go. Or, you almost it's making people almost want to make fun of Leslie Cross or his teachings. And now when it's getting to that stage, that looks even more like a psyop, because whose interests would that serve other than the industries? It's like they're making vegans bored of hearing about their own movement. Yeah, how fucking sick to the back teeth for me and you of hearing right now about Leslie Cross. We were never sick of it. We were interested before this lot came along.
Yeah. It's a shame.
This is awesome. Yeah, look at this essay. Wow, it was written in the 1950s by this dude called Leslie Cross, and he raised it. His kids are even vegan still today, and they're like in their 80s and everything. And he formulated this amazing anti-exploitation messaging and wrote these essays. Oh, how cool is this? Now when you fucking hear veganism is the doctrine, that man, you just think, here we go.
Yeah. It's there's this stigma around it now, isn't there? And it's just like, and the other day someone said, I'm just protecting Leslie Cross, I'm just protecting the true meaning. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't really care, because for anyone who doesn't know, the definition of veganism, man should live without exploiting animals. Like, no one is denying this, are they? Like, no one is like going out and saying that is wrong. No one's going out and saying that the definition isn't the definition. We're just saying, look, it makes sense to focus on emotion. It makes sense to focus on what we know works, what has already changed thousands of people's minds, hundreds of thousands of people's minds. I don't know about yourself, George, but I've spoke to so many people, and I don't know one person that has actually said, yeah, I turned vegan because I was told the definition, I was told the true meaning of this philosophy. It all stems back to things that have triggered their emotion: cruelty, violence, suffering. It's the biggest gateway we've got into it, is it not?
Yeah.
So
I do think it is, and I think that's the thing. What they're doing is this very kind of black and white thinking, where it's like, you can't be an abolitionist if you mention suffering. What? No. You can be an abolitionist and also think it's important to mention and show the horrors that animals are facing. In fact, I'd say to any activist who's withholding the horrors the animals are facing, how dare you? How dare you not expose this? There's animals screaming in slaughterhouses right now, and you want that fucking hidden away? Again, whose interest does this serve? The meat industry, if they're not shills, the meat industry must love vegans like them. Every time they see a post from one of those guys saying, don't talk about the suffering and the cruelty that happens in these industries, mate, the sausage companies must be rubbing their fucking hands, mate, every time they see a post from one of those guys saying that.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's incredible.
It's working.
How far into your vegan journey? I mean, to the point that I can't even say turn vegan now, because apparently you can't turn someone vegan. It's like it's an internal real, I don't know, whatever. How long after turning vegan? In 2012, was it?
2013. But I saw Gary's speech in 2012. Yeah.
How long into that, did you then understand the definition? Because this will be interesting, because mine was like 4 or 5 years.
I would say it was pretty instant. We all make mistakes. There's ways that so here's the thing: everyone's inexperienced when they first become vegan. Everyone has ways of correcting things. Like, for example, I always knew that veganism was an abolitionist movement, but I would, for example, think that, for example, when I first went vegan, I would say that it's also maybe about health and the environment as well. But I still understood it was an animal emancipation movement. But then maybe as a few years went by, I was like, yeah, no, these are just mere side benefits, but it's 100% like about the animals. So there's like little mistakes that you can kind of make, or ways that you can kind of correct your advocacy. But as soon as I went vegan, I understood the goal, what it was about. It was about the abolition of all animal use. I was saying from day one, there's no right way to do the wrong thing. There's no nice way to kill someone who doesn't want to die. Saying humane slaughter is like saying humane rape or humane slavery. All these things are in Gary's speech. These were the first things I saw about veganism. I understood the assignment from day one, but then as you go along, you polish your advocacy in many ways. So, and I think I have a suspicion that this is kind of what's happening with some of the indoctrinees into this cult. I think most of them are very new vegans, and they join, and what they may have seen is the odd apologist or something somewhere, who me and you wouldn't even consider vegan anyway. The type of twat who's in, these local vegan groups on Facebook is always just full of people who literally aren't vegan, who say they're vegan.
Yeah.
You've probably got one, vegans in Wolverhampton or something, and there'll be some geezer in there. Oh, I'm vegan, but I cook meat for all my family, and yeah, it's their choice, and the animals are raised humanely, and every Christmas I have a bit of turkey and everything like that. I think what's happening is they're seeing these wankers, like these new people who join Arenas' cult, and they're thinking, just because Arenas has said that we're responsible for this, they're actually for some reason assuming that we are, and then he's portraying himself as like this savior, this shining light, this messiah who's like, ha ha ha, I'm the one who actually understands what veganism is about. However, Jake and George, well, you saw those people, see those vegans in Wolverhampton earlier who said, backyard eggs are great. Yeah, that's due to Jake and George's messaging, and Cliff Grant and these people, and Tash Peterson. They're the people who are responsible for that. And then these new kind of vegans who just don't know what the fuck they're talking about, they just take Arenas' word for it.
Yeah.
And I think that's how he's doing this. He's managing to indoctrinate young, impressionable people into this cult. And that's why they're coming up with these batshit insane messages, like the one I posted on my story the other day about Gary Yourofsky misrepresented veganism to them, and they turned ex-vegan as a result. And then David Arenas saved the day. I mean,
it is.
Yeah,
it is crazy. I still can't get my head around it. I can't get my head around it, man. Like, mate, 2019, I stopped exploiting animals. Simple.
Yep.
Got into it through food. Obviously, you then look at dairy, and then you look at the leather industry and whatever, and then it just go, and you go, okay, this is seriously bad. The whole thing is bad. Animal exploitation is bad. Animal slavery is bad. And then in 2024, I realised the definition, and I genuinely thought, and I've said this on a video before, that veganism is not consuming any animal produce. But despite me not knowing what the definition was, my behaviour was still the same. So from 2019 to 2024, I was the same. I just knew that it made sense to leave animals alone. So my question to them is, can you explain how that happened then? Because if I'm showing content to people that is showing how bad this is, like the slaughterhouse, the farm, whatever, if I'm showing people that this is bad, and some people are changing or messaging me going, oh, I get that now, and I haven't told them the definition, how do you know that person is not going to be the same as me and just leaves animals alone without knowing what the definition is? they can't answer that. They can't answer. And when I've showed David, I've sent David multiple screenshots of my messaging on YouTube, talking about bullying, talking about exploitation, use. I've even sent him videos from like 2 years ago of me speaking.
Yeah.
And he ignored all of that. He ignored me debunking his claims. And he turned around and he said, "You're not allowed to use baby animals." So he ignored everything, picked out one little bit and went, "You can't say baby." And I said, "Why not?" He said, "Oh, because people will think that it's okay to do it to older animals." I'm like, that's not how it works. If I'd never have left the basement and I was just stuck in front of a computer for the last 30 years and everything was textbook, then you'd have a point. But we've been out there, we've been out into the world, you know, and we've realised what works. And by definition, yeah, you are correct, but it just doesn't stand up, does it?
Yeah, so here's the thing, and this is another reason that I think the cult is gaining a bit of traction. Just because they repeat ad nauseum some stuff that is true, that doesn't mean that all the rest of us don't believe that or aren't saying it anyway. Like, we all understand what veganism is. We know what it's about. We know it's an anti-exploitation movement. But just because they say this over and over again and repeat it, it draws these kind of impressionable people to them, and they think, these are the only people that understand the definition. And because I go on George's profile and Jake's profile, and they're actually arguing with these people, boom, enemy in our eyes. That's someone who doesn't understand veganism. That's someone who is a welfarist. So they've managed to actually, they've kind of managed to give themselves this like weird monopoly on the definition of veganism. And like, it's like anyone outside of our cult, you know, don't listen to them. They're going to misguide you. It's us who will show you the truth, who will show you the light. And it might look somehow quite convincing to a new vegan who just comes along on Instagram and they just see these people zealously policing our posts and us arguing back against it. Now, if you argue back against a fellow vegan who's, you know, coming up with these clear, very like polished definitions, who are saying you are misrepresenting this and it's harming the animals or whatever, and you argue back against that, that might make you look like the bad guy in these new vegans' eyes. I think that might be another tactic that they're kind of using. And it's a shame that people fall for it.
Yeah. It really is crazy, mate. I cannot believe how bad it is. And yeah, I mean, when you mentioned the shill thing, I asked AI, I said, what would you do to disrupt a vegan activist movement? And they literally said everything that they're doing, you know,
Really?
talk about,
You've got to post that, mate.
Yeah, I've actually, I'll actually, let me just find it because I'll read some of it out actually. 'Cause it is quite interesting what it said. I don't know why I didn't post it actually. So astroturfing, number one, divide and rule. They will amplify small disagreements into big ones. They will pit welfare versus abolition camps against each other. They will create fake accounts that stir hostility, claim certain leaders are sellouts or grifters. And the goal is to weaken unity so the message loses power. Number two is creating fake vegans who attack other vegans, posing as activists but promoting self-defeating ideas, and boosting confusion around tactics. Don't show suffering, never talk about cruelty, etc. Incredible, man.
Mate, this is so... You have to post this.
I don't know why I haven't. Number four, character assassination. Spread rumours about activists, attack credibility, frame vegans as violent, irrational, or hypocritical, I suppose. Distraction warfare, start pointless arguments, derail comment threads, hyper-focus on irrelevant side topics, and introduce conspiracy nonsense. I mean, I don't know. It's awfully accurate, isn't it? I just... It's hard to believe, isn't it? But when... I don't know if you've ever looked into tinfoil hat things, as they call people, who like to delve a little bit deeper than the news and look at
I think we're all guilty of that. We all like a bit of a
Yeah, I think for someone who doesn't do that, they'd probably go, "Oh, stop being stupid. There's no way." But stranger things have happened, haven't they? You know.
Oh yeah, and shills have been in our movement since the beginning, mate. I mean, look at was it PC? Was it Mark Stone or something from the 90s and early noughties who basically infiltrated a load of enviro and like animal rights groups, or maybe it was kind of mainly left wing enviro groups. I don't know how much he was involved specifically in the animal rights movement, but he was actually a copper and he was infiltrating, and he was so convincing in his role. You know, he had this long hair and the beard and everything. He was very, very convincing as an activist. And he fathered children with like a women, like under completely false pretenses, which is pretty rapey, let's admit it. I mean, imagine if you just completely lived a fake life and then you fathered a child with a woman who assumed you were like a vegan or something, and then you're just a copper.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. So this is how deep these people will go. Like, if the powers that be are willing to go far enough into a movement that they'll actually like con women into having children with them and everything like that, like, yeah, this isn't even as weird. You know, that Arenas isn't even as going as far as that. So it's certainly a credible theory that he could be a shill, or many of them could be shills, especially, and they're doing so many of the things that you mentioned on that list there from the AI thing. So it does seem to me, but you know, let's assume that they weren't shills. We can all agree that they're not acting in the animal's interests. They're just clearly acting in the interests of Big Ag. Big Ag would see these guys' posts and would fucking love it.
Yeah, it's so strange. I just hope that, you know, talks like this have give people a bit more confidence, because I know that it does affect people. How strong is the mind, man? You know all about how powerful the mind is, and if there's one way people can creep inside and change directions, this would be it, wouldn't it? As AI as kind of confirmed.
Yeah, I want to give people that confidence when they listen to this podcast. You know, I did a post a while back, a few months back. You know, it started along the lines of something like, if you are an effective animal rights activist, you will have no doubt come into contact recently with this group of people. And I dressed down all their bullshit in there. And I think that post helped a few people. But I think I ended the post by saying, you know, if they come for you, don't listen to them. Just keep doing what you're doing. They're coming for you because you're doing it the right way. So don't be scared to go out and do activism the way you've been doing it. Don't be scared to write that post. If there is something wrong with your post, we will absolutely provide like some good critical feedback and help each other out and say, yeah, great post, bro. However, you know, I wouldn't use this line here or whatever it is. We've been doing that since the start. We've been, you know, you might see a post from me and think, you know, oh, George, that's a great post, but this message here is a little bit welfareist or whatever. That's all fine. You know, speak to each other about that. But don't be scared to write the fucking post to begin with. Of course, you're never going to do the perfect video. You're never going to write the perfect post. You're never going to go out and do the perfect bit of street outreach. You can't get all this stuff perfect. You're going to make little mistakes and stuff along the way, and that's fine. Just post it. And if any of these fuckheads come for your post, just block them, mate. Just block them and move on. You're speaking up for the animals. You don't have time to be dealing with these little farmers. These farmers' army, essentially. They're representing the interests of Big Ag. They do not represent the interests of the animals. So write the post.
Yeah, good advice, mate, because I'm just glad, like you say, I hope it has helped people, because it's not nice, is it? Especially when you've gone out of your way to do what, you know, 99.9% wouldn't do. You know, stand in the freezing cold and exposing this and exposing that, and then you've got some idiots who haven't even left their bedroom, who've got like a profile full of quotes, trying to tell you what to do and to see if you've defined this philosophy correctly, in case people, you know, turn back within 4 years. I mean, it's just a joke, man. Absolute joke.
Yeah, I've never met Arenas, and I never will, because he won't go to any of these vegan events in anywhere in the world, because he just doesn't do any activism, mate. And yeah, I've maybe met a few of them maybe before they fell into the cult, but let's face it. Apparently, Entice doesn't even do activism anymore. Apparently she was, super active on the streets. I think she was even an AV organizer, maybe. And then since she's fell in with like Arenas and stuff, I think she's been convinced to just like never go out on the street and do anything.
Sorry, is she actually part of them now? Is she?
I
Or
think she is. Yeah, I think she is. She kind of fell in with them, and then she just randomly blocked a few people for no reason. Like, I'd never said a bad word to her never a bad word to me. But a few people have done this, have just kind of just like blocked me or unfollowed me or whatever, since kind of just falling in with them. And I don't really see them. I've seen one or two of them do go out in the street and do stuff. I think one or two of a group of, there must be like 30 of them now. The group has grown from, he had his 12 disciples. I'd say it's grown to about 30 now.
they hate that, by the way. They hate that.
Yeah. I'd say one or two of them maybe do street outreach, but they're not doing anything special. They're not doing anything we weren't doing. They're not advocating in a way that's like, wow. And they're advocating still in a way that if you or I or Cliff Grant was to say it, they would come for. Like if Cliff Grant was to say exactly the same things that, for example, I don't know, that Steady Brooks bloke is one of them that he said on the street, they would still come for him. So it's kind of suspicious. They wouldn't magically go, oh, this conversation from Cliff Grant is awesome. They'd still call him a welfarist, so it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. What's interesting? There's a girl called Annie from Finland. Big up to Annie. She's I wouldn't say she's a psychologist, but she's very well studied in like holistic health and how the mind works and stuff. And I sent her the voice notes, or I basically told her what he said on voice notes to me when we first started talking, me and David. And he was like, you're not on my radar. You're not even important. Why would I speak to you? You're not even charismatic. You're doing it for money. And when I told Annie, who is very clued up on, psychology and stuff, she said,
I know what you're going to say.
It's blatant, like, feelings of inadequacy.
He thinks that about himself, so he's projecting.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, and you'll notice that actually, who are the top targets? All the people with the most followers. Who are the top three that shouldn't be in this space? Do you know what I mean? Very interesting, man. Right. Really interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? That a bunch of people with just like hardly any followers who don't get any messages saying you've turned me vegan, they attack people like Danny Ishay, who's doing such brilliant work, turning people vegan, absolutely roasting, taking down like these viral anti-vegan videos. And he's there just absolutely roasting these videos and getting them seen in front of audiences of millions. And they're coming for him. They come more for him than they do on the actual video that he's roasting. Go to a video by Danny Ishay. They'll be in the fucking comments. You're misrepresenting veganism. You are a welfarist, lifting welfarist logic. Go to the fucking video of the thing that he's replying to. They're nowhere to be seen in the comment section, dude.
Incredible.
They're nowhere to be seen in Paul Saladino's fucking comment section.
And just think where all that energy and where all these tactics that they use in some group that they're all in, that energy and that force of those disciples could just be directed in such a positive way. And it's not, it's wasted. And all it's doing is detrimental, man. It's
because I think they have. I made one mistake in my Instagram post I made a while back. So I was told by someone that I think they organised their attacks in a Discord server, and maybe they did at one point, but I think they actually organised them just via an Instagram message chat. But how good would that be? You have this group of very dedicated, committed people in an Instagram chat, and you say, "Oh, some anti-vegan is spouting some crap here. Everyone go now to there and let's really make the veganism dominant in the comment section. That's like what we do on Facebook. There's a few groups I'm in on Facebook. There's like vegans taking over Facebook and vegan swarm and stuff. It's really cool because when like an anti-vegan post goes up by someone in the public eye, you can post it in there and then everyone will just boom and then the comment section is just overtaken by vegans, which is absolutely destroying everyone. They're spending their time instead doing this to attack vegans. Again, Jake, who does this serve? Does this serve the animals or does this serve McDonald's?
Incredible. It really is. So yeah, as George said, just anyone who is affected, don't listen to the dickheads. Carry on with what you're doing.
No.
It's been proven to work. It is working.
It is.
And what they're doing definitely is not.
No.
George, back onto yourself, man. So just obviously before we wrap up and that, activism wise, mate, I think you're a top speaker, man. You've got a way with words. I've seen you on the street with WTF. I've seen you destroy debaters. Actually, just before I get onto your debates and where you go next, they actually cheeked you for laughing during a debate with this. Was it like the Crucible or something? And this bloke was saying something so ridiculous. I don't know what he was saying, but it made you laugh. And they almost pointed that as though like, oh, look at how can George sit there laughing when animals are being exploited, and he's sitting there laughing like you were laughing with this bloke. That blew my head. That was just not like I'll get off that anyway. But yeah, he's just incredible, man. But back onto your debates, mate. Anyway, what do you see yourself doing in the next? What's your plan in the next few years? Are you going to stick to some street debates, or have you got any ideas, or what? Where can you see yourself going?
I would like my YouTube channel to grow. YouTube is a very, very hard game. I've been trying to. Everyone listening is like, yeah,
help! Someone help me, man! Someone help,
bro. And I'm sorry to shit on everyone. Right, I'm going to be Arenas now for a second, and I'm going to shit on everyone listening. Guys, it's our own fault. We're not subscribing to each other's channels. We're not sharing each other's content. Like, vegans should be a dominant force on YouTube. You should type in animal rights on YouTube, and loads of our channels should come up with millions of subscribers. There's millions of vegans in the world. Why would me and you not have tens of thousands at least, or hundreds of thousands? That would be amazing, of subscribers. If there's millions of vegans in the world, it makes no sense. Considering there's like not a huge amount of vegans who actually have YouTube channels, you would expect us to actually have, more views, more shares. We want to veganize YouTube. We want to veganize social media. We have to do better at that as a movement of actually growing vegan YouTube, because if you go on animal rights YouTube, I'm not going to say vegan YouTube, because that might confuse people with the plant-based stuff. If you type vegan on YouTube, it's mainly cooking shit, isn't it? It's plant-based. But if you're talking about animal rights YouTube, which should mean vegan YouTube, there's maybe 2-3 kind of YouTubers that have kind of a stronghold on that. It tends to be maybe Joey Carb Strong, Earthling Ed, Vegan Gains, That Vegan Teacher, maybe 1 or 2 other people, but everyone else is just left in the dirt. And it's not their fault. I'm not blaming all these awesome channels, by the way. That's great that they've got all those subscribers. We want them to have millions of subscribers. But the problem is, bro, where's the subscribers for everyone else?
Yeah, it's tough, man. And I think a lot of it is to do with people click off straight away, don't they? As soon as they see a pig truck, it's like, oh, that reminds me of my bacon sandwich. Get rid of that. Whereas other topics and other subjects, they'd get away with it to a certain degree, wouldn't they? Like, even if you watch a video you're not interested in, you might just stay for an extra 60 seconds or something. But with the vegan thing, it's like, if you don't show the footage, you might bore people to death. If you do show the footage, you risk getting strikes like I have. I'm on my last warning. It's a tough game, man.
Well, one thing I would say is every time we make a video, it has to be kind of something that hasn't really been talked about before, which is quite hard. the vegan YouTube is dead with regards to, did you know this about dairy, or look what the meat industry is hiding from you. Those videos, if someone wants to know about the dairy industry, boom, dairy is scary. Aaron Jonas, 5-6 million views, whatever it is. Though, you can't make content anymore that's like, this is what happens in the dairy industry. It'll get fucking 10 views, mate, because we know it. Like, even non-vegans will just go straight to Aaron Janus's video. So you have to make something each video, I think, that just hasn't been done before, that people haven't talked about, or that offers a very unique perspective on something that makes people want to click, that Erin Janus hasn't already done, even though she's not even vegan anymore. Oh, probably my fault, isn't it?
It's your username, man. You need to change your username. It's a tough game, man. It's a tough game. I can't believe it. Like, you get your hopes up sometimes. Like, it's climbing, and then you'll spend like 12 hours editing a video, and then it's like, this one's going to do well, and then it just flops, and you're like, oh god, I'll try again next week.
Yeah, and you got to just keep chipping away at it. We need to make our channels as kind of entertaining and juicy as possible. People think about what draw people to someone like Vegan Gains, for example. He's if Vegan Gains has a debate, you want to watch it because it's about to go off. Now, you don't necessarily have to have like as fiery a personality as Gaines, but you have to come up with something that's very unique and interesting. And I've tried to do that in many of my videos, but obviously it's not working. So you've got to just keep plugging away until you can really just crack it. And I've heard from people who do have big YouTube followings. Arvind, I think, is one. I think he just said, for example, like, well, number one, you do have to make quality content. But number two, I think there is just a random bit of luck involved. Like one day the algorithm will just randomly kind of push one of your videos more than it does other people's. Could be some stuff to do with the keywords or something. And there might be a little bit of luck involved, but I think it's mostly skill.
Yeah. George, you have a vegan partner, Rachel. It is Rachel, isn't it?
Yep.
I've seen some amazing food. Can I talk about food? Do I get the pass?
No, you utilitarian welfarist. Veganism is an animal emancipation movement.
The food I've seen, someone is a really good chef. Is it you or is it Rachel? Or a bit of both?
I'd say we're both good cooks. Rachel, I would say, more prides herself on desserts, and I'm more pride myself on main courses. Now, I don't really bake. I don't really do desserts. I love desserts, but I don't really like, anytime you see a bomb looking like spotted dick or sticky toffee pudding or banana bread or some kind of like incredible shit like that looks really pretty and stuff, that's Rachel, and her baking is phenomenal. And then mostly the main courses that you see, like the really good looking curries and stews and like noodle dishes and some of the British classics as well. Yeah, that's mostly me that you'll see.
Mate, honestly, I'm supposed to be a chef, but I'm more like a batch cook chef. And I look at some of your stuff and I'm thinking, I need to up my game here, man. That looks serious, honestly. Quality. What's your favourite dish? What's your go-to? Nothing too complicated. Just like, okay, I'm going to whack this in the pan. What's your kind of?
If I'm in a can't be really bothered much mood for dinner tonight, and that I don't want to put a huge amount of effort into, I think bangers and mash is great. But you know what? It's all about the plant-based sausages you choose. If you do bangers and mash, don't go with just a low-quality plant-based sausage, just a cheap. Go for the best plant-based sausage you can get. I usually use this for the bangers and mash. It makes an insane amount of difference. And you can make a meal like that. You can even use instant mash if you ain't got time to boil the potatoes or something. Yeah, bangers and mash would be just a beautiful meal that you could make in probably like 10 minutes.
Yeah. It's it looks good, mate. Honestly, really good. Probably one of the you should make a food page, man. It looks seriously good.
So we probably will do that once we get. So you should see my kitchen in my flat, mate. when you know when you see all these like food influencers and stuff on Instagram, they've got those like open plan kind of kitchens where you can almost like stick like a tripod like in the middle of the counter and just almost like move
On an
around the
island,
kitchen.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like a little island, mate. My kitchen is that little fucking thing that you see. You see the knives there?
Yeah.
My kitchen is my living room,
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Studio.
So that, yeah, it's just not. It's not. The lighting is shit. Like there's no space. Like the counter, I've got like an air fryer on it and a toaster, and like the microwave is up on the fridge, and it's just a bit of a. It's a bit cluttered, mate. But
Yeah.
once we get a more spacious kind of kitchen, mate. Yeah, I think I will make a food channel.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, man, it's I've spotted the talent, man, and it's good to see.
I
Bangers
love
and
it,
max
mate.
by George.
And I love cooking for people, mate. So if you're ever in Bristol, mate, let's say you're doing
Oh,
them
what
epic
have I
runs
done?
like a madman.
I walked to Bristol, man, and I was gagging for food. What was I doing?
Yeah, shit. I should have. Well, that's
Nah,
my bad.
I am. Oh, mate,
I palmed you off on the Kutcher.
I got there, mate, and I was gone. I was like, "Get me back, get me to bed." I was, I was gone. But now that's a great offer, mate. Thank you. Likewise, man. I know that you do stay up here with Dark Fire Hot Sauce, don't you? What's his name?
Oh yeah, we stayed with Matt once. Yeah,
Yeah.
the hot sauce dude. Yeah, he's. I'll shout out his products now. By the way, Dark Fire Hot Sauce, very the most flavoursome hot sauces that you will get. So check them out because a lot of people when they hear hot sauce, especially if you're not a spice addict like me, you'll think, well, it's just heat, it's just chili in a bottle. Nah, check out his hot sauces. They're so full of flavour,
Mm.
all vegan, got an incredible range, and you're supporting an independent vegan business. Dark Fire Hot Sauces.
Absolutely, man. And I've tried and tested myself. It is banging.
Yes.
George, thank you very much, mate. It's been good to chat, and finally got it done. I don't know if you want to add anything else. We've got rid of the vegan I can't call them that. The vegan Karen's myths, and what else have we covered? A bit of food, a bit of activism. I don't know if there's anything else you want to cover.
Yeah, no, that's all good, Jake. It's been a great chat. And yeah, I'll just double down on what I said earlier. Make that post, do that street outreach. Don't care about being perfect. Animals are in fucking gas chambers right now. Don't sit there going, oh, should I post? Should I not? Oh no. Oh, should I stay at home instead of going out? Get out on that fucking street and make that post.
Quality. George, legend of the game. Thank you very much, man. Take it easy. See you soon.
Cheers, Jake.
Nice one, man. Plant Geezer Coaching is the first service in the UK that is 100% vegan and combines a coaching service with high protein meal preps and high protein brownies delivered to your door. You will work one-to-one with myself on health goals, fitness goals, muscle building, fat loss, lifestyle changes, health improvements. You get 24/7 WhatsApp support, weekly check-ins, ongoing motivation, fitness plans, and also help with recipes. The package doesn't end there. On top of the coaching service and the 12 meal preps delivered to your door, we also throw in 6 high protein, freshly cooked vegan brownies to help you with your protein target. And just to finalise the deal, 10% of all our revenue from this service will go directly to any animal rights organisation or sanctuary of your choice.